How convenient that we're on the Halloween season and we got the newest reboot of the Halloween franchise. I have to be a little bit honest with you with a bit of my how can I say retrospective on the Halloween movies. I only saw a few of them. I haven't seen all of them. If you're wondering which ones, I only saw Halloween 1 and Halloween 3, the one that doesn't involve the infamous serial killer from those movies, Michael Myers. No relationship to the comedian. I'm gonna say that I was lucky that I saw the good ones. Halloween 1, the one made by John Carpenter, was great. And also I saw the Season of the Witch, the one that they try to deviate from Michael Myers, and it's also great. But unfortunately, because of the demand, they just decided they needed Michael Myers for the other Halloween movies. I think that wasn't too much of a good idea, because ignoring Halloween 2, I saw cliff notes out of it, and I heard people saying that it's a good sequel. But then after Season of the Witch, the other sequel, let's say that they tried to put too much mythos on Michael Myers, and they come off as being very, very, very messy. I mean, Halloween, The Return of Michael Myers, what was it, Halloween 5, Halloween 6. I know that Halloween 6 had a disastrous direction because they wanted to put a curse on him and something was done unpleasant, and I'm not gonna go beyond that. There's Halloween H2O. Halloween Resurrection, I saw the Cliff Note version with their Failist review, and the biggest thing that this movie has is just Busta Rhymes saying "trick or treat, motherfucker." that was great. Oh, I lied. I didn't see 2 Halloween movies. I actually seen 3 because I saw the Rob Zombie remakes, the first one at least. The first one. This remake of Rob Zombie suck. At first, I was intrigued by it, but the more I think about it, it really shows that they kind of missed the point of Michael Myers, which I'll get to that when I talk about the movie that I just saw today. And the less we talk about Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie one, the better. Because that one was both hilarious and awful at the same time. So as you can tell, I was very worried about the 2018 version of Halloween, in which they decided to ignore all the sequels except the first movie, and make a kind of like an alternative sequel to the Halloween movie. And with this one, they got the original actress who played the main heroine of the movie, Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. They brought her back, and they decided to make a movie that takes place 40 years after the whole Halloween event, in which it involved Michael Myers, the psychopath. Sorry about that. The psychopathic killer. That went on a rampage and killed many people in the first movie. And now, we got the setting 40 years later. And this is my honest review of these movies. Man, the bird upstairs is restless. The bird upstairs probably is restless because probably Michael Myers is upstairs. Nah, just kidding. I'm gonna be... I have to be truthful by saying that I was kind of had low expectations on the Halloween movie, considering that the other sequels were kind of suck. The only sequel that I liked was Season of the Witch, which doesn't have Michael Myers. But once I entered this full-packed movie theater and seen the movie, I gotta admit, I like it. I really, really like this movie to the point that that it's really well done. And I gotta congrats because this kind of makes up for a lot of the bullshit that they wanted to put on in the sequels of Halloween, the one with Michael Myers. But I'm not gonna say that it's a perfect movie. It does has flaws, but let's say that this movie, what it succeeds is that it really understood Michael Myers. Because in the first movie and even the second one, it's always implied that Michael Myers is not just a psychopathic killer. They wanted to build him out like he's kind of like the essence of evil. It's something that you don't understand. There's a mystery there. But then in subsequent movies, they kind of try to bring him a reason to it. Like for example, saying that Laurie Strode is Michael Myers' sister, or that he has a curse, or some psychic connection here and there. And Rob Zombie's weak delusion, he thinks that it's bad parenting by a redneck family. Which, yeah, I know that these are elements that probably could build up a psychopath, but that's not the point. The point of Michael Myers is that he is scary because he's malevolent. And gladly, this movie keep it up like that. And I'm happy that it's a movie that tries to understand Michael Myers, but the point is that you can't. You can't understand that guy. People, even the movie, even the movie and the doctors, they try to find a way to make him talk, but he doesn't. He doesn't talk because you know that there is something malevolent on that guy, and it shows. They try to find out what is the reasoning on his killings. He doesn't need it. He just do it because he just do it. This brings out the higher threat on the setting of the movie and makes us feel scared of the guy. It's been a long time since I was really anxious but also creeped out by the things that Michael Myers will do, and he's a mainstream horror icon. Okay, continuing on. Like I said, the movie takes place 40 years later. Michael Myers is on the mental institution because if this ignores the first movie, I don't know how the hell did they manage to capture him because he escapes in the end of the first movie. But okay, let's buy it like that. 40 years happened. They made this retcon saying that Dr. Loomis, the doctor played by Donald Pleasant, has passed away. Yeah, because Donald Pleasant is dead. And, well, there are documentaries who want to make a documentary on Michael Myers and his killings, but he refused to talk, and he's getting ready to being transferred to another mental hospital. But during all these 40 years, the main character from the first Halloween movie, Laurie Strode, again played by Jamie Lee Curtis, she had her life very wrecked. Because of all these incidents, she's paranoid, she's agoraphobic, she has her house filled with traps, locks, and she's getting ready with firearms and everything because she believes that Michael Myers one day will come out, and when he comes out, she'll be ready. And because of that, she kind of have this rusty relationship with her daughter because her daughter she was trying to make her get ready for everything, but you know, people say that you should not treat like child like that, so she got taken out of she lost her custody to the daughter when she was 15 years old, and she has a grudge against her mother. She divorced twice, and well, that's technically Laurie Strode, and honestly, her reaction to all of this is much more believable than what they did to her in the Rob Zombie Halloween 2, in which she turns into a goth girl. And during all this what was the word I was gonna say? This family dysfunction. The only character who tries to put a piece to both families is Laurie Strode's granddaughter. And she tries her best to put them in good terms, but apparently Laurie Strode is so, I wouldn't say so far broken, but so far so traumatized that it's kind of like really, really hard. And it shows also that it's not exactly kind of like a bitchy relationship between mother and daughter from what happened, what they happened. It shows that they're a family that they try to patch things up, but the things how they are, it can't be. It feels like it's not impossible, but very hard to do. Especially considering that we're talking about a woman who has to deal with the trauma of her friends getting murdered by a killer who has the strength of Jason Voorhees. All right, I'm panning things up, but the gist is that during the transfer, Michael Myers escapes and he begins to kill lots of people. He even kills the documentarians, who they have the iconic William Shatner mask. And he also steals a mechanic suit in order to make him look like the iconic look that he has. And he goes, and he enters town with, you know, the name escapes me. What was it? It escaped me. It escaped me the name of the town where it takes place. You know what? I know that it's in Illinois, but I forgot the name of the town. And then it turns into the typical slasher film. And a nice one it is. And again, like the last movie, it takes place on Halloween. There's trick-or-treaters, even though there are not many trick-or-treaters nowadays like that, especially, maybe they do. Maybe I'm out of touch. When Niels goes by, Laurie Strode is ready. She tries to convince her family that he's bad news. They are skeptical because they think she's crazy. She's a little bit overprotecting them. She's overly prepare herself. But let's see who laughs last. And from that point, I have to say that I gotta stop with too much spoilery stuff because it goes into typical slasher horror film, but it's great. I really, really like the pacing of the movie, and it didn't, for a Blumhouse movie, it doesn't go for too many cheap jump scares with orchestra strings or something like that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they not, but like I said, it's not a perfect movie. Sometimes I just feel that it falls on some of the Blumhouse film's traps. But if I could say that which is the best thing about this movie, it's none other than Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, an elderly Laurie Strode. She was amazing. I gotta say that she deserves to be at least nominated for an Oscar for her performance because she's totally badass, she's strong, she's vulnerable. That is the perfect representation of a strong woman. That is badass, but at the same time vulnerable. I absolutely love that, and every time Laurie Strode appears, and you can give out with her Jamie Lee Curtis being ready for anything, even putting her neck on the line from a killer who can even deflect bullets, kind of like Superman. It's amazing. It's amazing, and you feel for her. You feel for her even when you might think that this person might be kind of overdoing it, but no. I mean, put her in her shoes. Try to think. How would you think when you survive almost being killed by a serial killer who has no remorse to do anything? The other actors are kind of great also. Although nothing beats Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis in this one. And what else there is? There's also this character in which it tries to be kind of like the new Dr. Loomis. He's this doctor who is fascinated to try to understand Michael Myers. I wish that this plot point could have been well pushed a little bit further, but I didn't think that the movie is aware that he needed that. I mean, even the first movie doesn't go exactly to go that far. We have this great monologue from Donald Pleasant in the first movie, and that's pretty much it. What you can get from Michael Myers' background, that he's technically the personification of evil, and it shows. I mean, there's even a one-track shot of Michael Myers going on a rampage, and he just kills whatever he who he feels like. He even spares a baby. Why? We don't know. The movie movie gives you enough pieces to know that he just goes by random. Oh, and back to that doctor who is supposed to be Dr. Loomis' student. He was fascinating, but for a while he disappeared from the movie, and when he comes back, he makes something of a twist that I don't dare you to reveal it. But I was like, okay, where is this going? And it drops for a moment until we get back to whatever it's gonna do. But again, I'm not gonna reveal you what it is. But I was like, what? I mean, at least I'll give it credit for a twist. It made me blow my mind thinking, oh, where the hell this is going? That's the least I could say from that thing. And for the granddaughter, she's kind of, I would say that she's a little bit of a secondary character, but she does fairly well. She's technically kind of like a Laurie Strode Jr. in a sense, and I kind of like that that despite the fights between Laurie and between his grandmother and her mother, her grandmother and her mother. Sorry about that, my poor grammar. She just tried to be in the middle of it, trying to put a piece on them, and they both are fond of her, of course. And of course, because it's Halloween, she goes, and she's a high schooler, she goes to this party in which she's betrayed by this doofus of a boyfriend who doesn't get his comeuppance. And also there's kind of a little bit of a character who is supposed to be the comic relief. But funnily enough, he kind of looks like what would you get if you mix Jonah Hill with the chocolate crazy guy from that Friday the 13th movie. Oh yeah, the violence. This movie is really violent. It doesn't hold back. It's not excessive gory, but it has enough violent imagery that it is enough to traumatize even the most cringiest of all people. I mean, because not only Michael Myers kills people by slicing them off with a kitchen knife. He pierces them with anything that he can find. With again the kitchen knife, he just rams it into nails or spikes, whatever he can find. If he doesn't have a weapon, he bangs their heads and their jaws into whatever he feels, what he can find. The table, anything. And again, like I said, you might find, what is his deal? And there is no deal. And the cool thing is that Laurie knows. Laurie knows that it is something that you should not. It's something that you cannot reason. And there is this big debate about we should keep the guy because we have to study them. And sometimes it is okay to do a necessary evil when you have to combat a big evil. That's technically the small little tidbit that I can get from this movie. If I could say one of the little nitpicks that this movie has is that there are a few times that they wanted to add some kind of impromptu humor, and sometimes it falls flat in sometimes. It's not exactly bad humor, but it's kind of a little bit out of place. There is a scene in which I think we get kind of like a minute and a half of two cops. How can I say, two cops just discussing about the food that they brought, and one has this Mexican food and the other one has homemade brownies, and it was like, okay, where did this come from? And another thing is that sometimes the movie does fall into people doing stupid decisions, but I cannot complain exactly about that, because the movie, technically, this is what slasher films has. People doing bad decisions. Although they don't do remarkably stupid decisions. Well, sometimes. I mean, in the beginning of the movie, there's this guy, there's this father and a child who they're on the road, and they find the bus full of crazy people roaming around, and it's like, okay, son, stay here. I'll see what these people want. Yeah, leave your child to see a crowd full of people that came from a mental asylum. Father of the Year! And I don't care if your child knows how to use a sniper rifle. It's still a bad decision. And, well, that's technically mostly what I can say about Halloween 2018. I just came out surprised that I can't recommend this movie enough. I really like it. It's a good movie that even tries to retcon itself from some of the lamer sequels. I mean, it also has some few references for the other Halloween movies, but you have to pay attention to where you can pinpoint them. I mean, there was a scene in which I never realized, but there were two kids who had the mask of, I think it was the mask of the pumpkin and the skeleton that makes reference to the Silver Shamrock's mask from Halloween 3. There is what was it? Oh yeah, they tried to retcon saying that this whole relationship between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, saying that they're siblings, and they turn it into a rumor. I kind of like that, because I don't think that the movie could have worked in Michael Myers' perspective to put Laurie Strode and Michael Myers as siblings. Sorry, but I couldn't get past that, and I thought that it was genius to get rid of that plot point from the other Halloween movies. At least it's better. At least it's better than putting that Michael Myers has a curse. And oh yeah, and I also have a small nitpick that I forgot to mention. Is it me, or the opening credits it's a little bit too fast? That's all I can say. This is a perfect movie to watch for the Halloween season. Really, considering that the movie is called Halloween. And although they should name this movie Halloween The Return, or Halloween 2.1, something that you could identify this movie and not confuse it with the two other movies that also had the name Halloween. Well, the one you could say Rob Zombie Halloween. So check it out. I highly recommend Halloween for this season. So that's all I can say from this movie. So it's still halfway. We still have many days left for Halloween, but I don't care. Happy Halloween, everyone.